All right, so here we are. We are in Cleveland, Ohio. We are with the world's number one marketing authority, Dan Kennedy. We spent the day talking about the big event that we've got coming up in July, the 8th and 9th here in Cleveland. With Dan, we're going to be talking about two specific things to do with success in life and business. Number one is 0 to million. How do you get from 0 to million? What does that millionaire mindset look like? And very importantly for a private practice, if you're a physical therapist watching this, the burning question is, what does the future of PT look like? How do we navigate the choppiness, if you like, of being in an insurance practice that's stuck on relying on referrals from doctors to getting towards a cash pay model, much more lucrative. And we're going to ask Dan, we're going to pick his brains, we're going to have a good discussion. What does the future look like? That's what everybody wants to know, Dan. What do you think?
So the future often looks somewhat like the past because we keep repeating business cycles and economic cycles and mistakes, over and over and over again. I've been working with private practice owners since the late 1970s, more chiropractic and dental than PT, but PT as well.
Yeah.
I had a very large private client physical therapy clinics in Kentucky in the mid 1980s. I was in chiropractic in the late 70s and early 80s. I was one of 4 or 5 kind of leading both the prepay movement versus pay per visit and the cash practice movement, because they stitch together. You can't do one without the other. And the problems of being the second class citizen in the care equation and being dependent on some entity, someone else to hand you your patients, your customers. It was a dangerous evil then. It's a dangerous evil now. The chiropractors really never faced it because up until fairly recently, the medical community and the chiropractic community would just have nothing to do with each other. So it actually prevented them from finding themselves in the same position that the physical therapy profession finds itself in. But the insurance problem was just as real. And overarchingly, if you look at what has been a very slow evolution in healthcare, and evolutions tend to become revolutions at some point. They creep and creep and creep, and then by some reason, mechanism, means they suddenly accelerate. This has been a move to consolidation and big business, not small business. I recommended a book to you today by Carol Roth called The War on Small Business. And it's well worth reading. It's not comprehensive, by the way, but it's well worth reading because there is a determined effort, a deliberate effort for there to be big business, not small business. Yeah. Government prefers it. Socialist government has to have it. Yeah. And anytime the government is paying a large portion of the bills, they want it because they feel like it's easier to control. So it's happened in the small manufacturing business. It's happening in banks. During the Obama administration, there was a reduction of both startups and existent local community and regional banks. They deliberately made the regulatory environment compliance costs so high that those banks consolidated. And there was a lot of pressure on the family-owned bank in the community with 5 branches to sell, because the compliance costs for B of A, they can absorb almost anything. But so there was a lot of that. Then it kind of eased up again. And there were a fair number of bank startups during the Trump years. And now we just had this little banking crisis, which probably hides a bigger banking crisis. And there's a big open discussion. Even people who should know better, like Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, are openly saying, what do we need regional banks for anyway?
Yeah.
Right? Everybody banks digitally, which everybody doesn't, but everybody banks digitally. If we just have 5 big banks, we don't have to worry about them failing. Gee, we've forgotten Lehman Brothers. We don't have to worry about them failing. And so why don't we just eliminate all the small banks altogether and have like 5 big banks? So that's in healthcare.
Yeah.
It's very much in healthcare. Okay? And insurance is often intertwined with it and being used to enforce it. So in pharmacy industry, the independent pharmacy is fighting for their life because Aetna owns pharmacy benefit management companies, and I think they own a big hunk of CVS, if I'm not mistaken, or it's the other way around. But the insurers and the deliverers are becoming one, and fewer of them. And that's not an accident.
Thanks for watching this video, and if you found it helpful, and if you now find yourself thinking, I wonder what else this person can help me with, head over to paulgough.com/books, where you can find my best-selling books, which will show you how to add more profit to your practice. Or send an email to paul@paulgough.com to ask about how we can help you accelerate the growth and profitability of your clinic. And by the way, if you know anybody who would find this helpful, please share this video out. Thanks so much.